this is not an easy episode to have to record and post and do all of the things, but it must be done. And I think it, and y'all deserve it. Y'all do. Y'all definitely deserve the honesty, the vulnerability, and just to know where I'm at. So here we go. What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Maya G, and you are tuned into another episode of Operating on High, a podcast all about conscious cannabis consumption and centering Black voices within the cannabis space. And I'm so happy that y'all are here. Like, I really appreciate y'all showing up for me, even when it's hard for me to show up here in this space. But we're going to get into all that. We're going to get into all of that. Let me not start sappy and all of that. But first and foremost, let me act like I got some manners, okay? How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? You know, and if you're new here, the question that I ask every time we get started with the podcast is, what level are you operating on today? Is it giving low, medium, high? Let me know. Let me know. Drop a comment down below and let me know what level you're operating at as you're tuned into this. And so I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all know I'm probably at like a very low. Okay. Well, I'm not gonna say very low. Well, I'm very low energy wise. And why is that? Hold on, let me show you something. It's 12:32, and that's not PM, that's AM, baby. Why? Why? I like to, I just like to live on the edge of consciousness, because I am a little sleepy. I am, but I'm like, I can't let another day pass without recording this episode. And so I am kind of like low energy, but I'm excited. I'm high in terms of like, yes, I have smoked. I did smoke before this. I'll probably take me a little break in between here, if I get to that. Because sometimes I just be running my mouth straight, no stop. Be like, dang, I didn't even roll up. I rolled up. Did I even have my? I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna go get it in a second. But I would say, as far as my outlook on the future, like, that is at a high level. But right now, yeah, the energy level is low, and I'm also just, I feel like I'm in a season of like preparation, and I just don't feel like I am doing enough to prepare for the next season that I'm gonna be in. Like I said, very high hopes, very high, just dreams and feelings and goals. And it's not that I don't think that they'll never get accomplished. I'm just like, am I gonna be the person that's needed to accomplish those goals? I don't know if that makes sense. But that's honestly, I would say that that's what this episode is about, to be honest. Like, the podcast is still very, very new, very fresh. Okay, this is episode 7, okay, of Operating on High. But it's also been like 2 months since I've dropped an episode. And before that, I was dropping like every week for 6 weeks straight. And then, to be honest, like, I got very, very burnt out with that. I think my expectations of how I was going to be able to move with creating this podcast didn't match up to what was required to maintain the pace that I thought I could. These past several weeks have really been just a reality check for me. I can be very, very honest in saying that it's been like expectations versus reality in 4K, damn near 8K, because there's some shit I didn't want to see. But yeah, and I think the past several weeks has also been me trying to accept those things, because I honestly, it was probably been within the past week that I've been like, okay, I can accept this as the reality and not keep beating myself up over the expectations that I have. Um, and so just to be honest about, I'm sorry if these bangles are loud. They cute though, so hopefully you end up watching on YouTube. Anyways, but over these past several weeks, I have experienced quite a bit of burnout. Um, and I just feel like my nervous system has not been balanced as well as it could have been. Or it's like I would do really good in one area of my life and then I'll be struggling in another. And I'm not gonna lie, it's always been struggling with creating, especially like content with this podcast. Like creation has been such a struggle for me over the past several weeks. And I wasn't ready to accept that it's because like I am truly just one person. Um and so like I had an expectation of putting out episodes weekly. And I did it for a strong 6 weeks. Like I had a lot of great ideas about what I wanted to do for the upcoming episodes, but the reality of it was like I couldn't make those next episodes like week over week. Like it wasn't going to take me a week to get those done. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll try again next week. Okay, I'll try again next week. Okay, like, and then like for a while too, like I wasn't really like working out or moving my body. So then I started getting better with that. So I was like, okay, that's another step in the right direction. And I was like, okay, well, let me eat better. So then my diet was really good, but I just could not get that part of me to create. But instead of zooming out and being like, okay, what are the factors that are making this not work? I was just being hard on myself for it not working, Like I was like, man, like people are creating content like all the time, girl. Like you should be able to do this or, uh like spend more hours doing this thing every day. Also like, but not checking in with myself like, girl, you have a 9 to 5 job that can be very demanding on you as well. So wanting to rest after work is completely expected. Like, girl, I don't know. And I was just like, oh, but people do it all the time where they have their 5 to 9. And I just couldn't understand like why I just couldn't be that person, or like why, yeah, like why I couldn't stay on top of things. And so I just was like, well, just get up tomorrow, girl, and do it. Like, just get up to like, just come on. Like, I was not talking the best to myself. Instead of like motivating myself, I was kind of like yelling at myself, like, come on, girl. As a recovering people pleaser, I hate disappointing people. And I don't even know if it was necessarily that I like disappointed the people that were viewing this. It's not a huge audience of people, but I was like, man, I'm letting people down. But I think what really had me stuck over these past several weeks is like I'm letting myself down, and that really hit me because I'm like, gosh, here I am letting myself down again in like another way, or like not going after my dreams when I really have the opportunity to do so. And so I was just really beating myself up about that and speaking a lot of just negativity because of that disappointment. I was also being negative because I was comparing myself to other podcasts that exist, and what I wasn't ready to what that I was in denial about is the fact that a lot of those podcasts like have a team of people. Okay. They have a team of people that are both like that are behind the camera. And then also too, what's easy for a lot of podcasts is that they have like co-hosts too, where you can like bounce off of other people, or it's like you have the other person who can, feed into the ideas and all of that. But when you're just one person, it's like you really have to do all of those things by yourself. Like I have to ideate on like what the episodes could be about. I have to strategize on like, okay, how can I put these episodes together? And then you also have to like say if I want to do an interview with people, I have to do that outreach. I have to do the research. I have to pitch to people if I want them to be on an episode. And then really resetting my expectations and knowing what I want for this podcast. I know that I want this podcast to be fun, but also very, very like education, research based. If I'm going to research something, I want to be able to cite my sources at the end of this. In the age of anti intellectualism, I am trying to be one of those girls that's citing her sources. I'm trying to DBQ this thing, okay? If you ever wrote a 5-paragraph essay in cursive, I'm talking to you, okay? And also too, let me give my background as well. I would say yes, I have been like a lifelong learner for sure. Um in elementary school, like second grade, I was in gifted and talented, GT, all of that. And then on top of being in GT, child, I was in Math Olympiad. My God. I was in Math Olympiad. I did Destination Imagination. Shout out to all the DI girls, okay? Because if you were in DI, like please drop a comment down below because I must know. Like, if you were in Destination Imagination, I know you smoke the loudest weed now. I know you smoke weed now. Like I know that you do. Okay. And let me know if you have a neurodivergence diagnosis as well, because I think no, I know. That's us. Like that's us. I know. So yeah. Destination Imagination. That was middle school. And then in high school, on top of me like taking college level calculus 1, calculus 2, I was also in international baccalaureate. Okay. And a lot of the people will tell you that international baccalaureate is the same thing as advanced placement or AP courses. And I've come to tell you that that is not true. As somebody who is an IB diploma graduate, okay, I don't recall the AP girlies during that time telling me that they had to take a calculus exam in pen. No multiple choice. Literally every end of the year exam, there was no multiple choice. Did y'all let me know now? AP, did y'all have multiple choice on y'all exams? Because IB, we didn't. We did not. We took every single test in ink, in pen. They bought us all like the special pens that had the erasers on it, but like at the end of the day, it was still ink. So if you had to do a whole bunch of erasing, it was gonna be looking crazy on that paper. So if you was gonna write it, you better be pretty sure about that one. If you gonna write that down. So yeah, end of the year exams in pen, and not just that. We had to write a 4,000 word essay at the end of my senior year about a specific topic in either history or English. I mean, it was I've never written a dissertation, but I know this was definitely like dissertation prep, okay? Like that was a lot having to do that. And this was back in it again. This was back during the times when like I was writing my sources on note cards And then I had to input the information into what is that? Easy Bib. Oh my God. The girls don't know about Easy Bib. Y'all don't know about having to cite them sources APA format. Like the children just don't understand. I mean, that was some high level research that we was doing in high school. And I did end up getting, like I said, I am an IB diploma graduate. So I got all of my things. Okay. I graduated high school with a 4.125 GPA. And that was really because I slacked off my senior year and got my first C. Like I was literally a straight A student until about high school. And I was just like, hey, I'm actually just trying to kick it. I just want to be a regular kid. I'm actually sick of the books. Okay. So yeah, I was on that honor roll, okay? And then in college, I was in honors courses. Um and what else? Oh, and then also in college, I did a like undergraduate research program because again, I can't run from the research. I remember I did my because we had to write a 20-page paper for that too. And side note to the side note, because you see this is the longest tangent ever. But in this program, the real reason that I did it was because they allowed us to stay on campus. Okay. And then they also paid us a $2,000 stipend for doing the research. I'm like, a free room and board, not at my parents' house. And all I got to do is write a paper. I be writing papers in my sleep. I remember one time I wrote a paper for honors literature too. Yeah, in college. I wrote that paper in like I literally from start to finish an hour and a half before it was due. Go to class the next day. My paper is a 93. And then he's talking about Maya wrote an exemplary paper. What? I don't even remember what it was about. I think it was about a book that I didn't even read. Yep. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. Also, I don't run from the words, okay? I write them, I speak them. So, okay, I said all that to say your girl is indeed an academic, okay? And I tried to run from it in adulthood, but that is just me. This is real. This is me. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Gotta let the light shine on me. If you know where that's from, drop it in the comments. So you take all of that now, and then I'm like, how can I be mad at myself for not being able to research, film, and edit a podcast in a week? Girl, all them papers that you wrote, like, yeah, I might have been able to do that stuff back in the day, but I can't do that no more. And especially not about something as I'll say it's something as sensitive as cannabis, and something as sensitive as knowing the correct information when it comes to medical marijuana, because as we know, there is a lot of misinformation out there. There are a lot of stigmas out there. And I want to make sure that I'm not promoting any of that. So, on top of all of that, okay, now I know I got to do research. You try to do the research about the research on cannabis, and you find out ain't much research. Why? Because it's been federally illegal. So we're limited in the scope. We're limited in what we can know. Like, well, now it has been rescheduled, Schedule 3. So things are changing, but for a long time and still even to this day, like the information is not as prevalent or available and accessible as it should be, as it could be, you know. And we know why that is. If you don't know, go watch episode, I don't even know what is it, episode 4, child. It's the crooked history of cannabis in America. I'm gonna put it on one of them eyes up here. Maybe I think it's on this side. I think it's over here. Or it's over here. Either way, it's gonna pop up in one of them corners. Be on the lookout for it. The title of the episode is The Crooked History of Cannabis in America. And you see within that crooked history that there has been a lot of suppression of the information, of the truth. Obviously, because if you know the truth, then you know how fucked up the system is. Okay. And that's why they like, man, just don't even worry about it. Just take the lives that we've given you and be happy with them. And I'm not happy. I'm not satisfied with that. Satisfied. Being satisfied. My good sis from Hamilton. What is That's another discussion for another day. Okay. I feel like I'm working on my last two brain cells. Okay. So either way, said all that to say, with the expectations that I set for myself were unrealistic. So it's like, of course I didn't meet them. Like, because there was actually no way that I could. So I have to give myself some grace. Okay. And also I need to move from a place of self-awareness and not self-assumption, or I don't know, but just operating from a place of like, girl, come on now. You know that ain't even you. You know you gonna need a nap. Like let me schedule some rest days in. That's what I'm working on right now. Like what is my calendar? Okay. Yeah, we might be in the month of June, but I might be feeling like February. I don't even know what that means, but as especially as women, we ebbs and we flows, okay? I can't be moving like a man, okay? I can't be moving like I don't have hormonal shifts throughout the month. Another expectation that I have for myself was that I would be able to show up a whole bunch on camera and just be like okay with it. Though I may be a Leo, I had a different expectation of myself for how often I would be willing to show up on the internet. Like, I'll be honest, like I said, it's 1:21 in the morning right now when I'm recording this, and that is because I was supposed to record this 12 hours ago. But I was like, oh, I was so nervous to record it. I don't know. You would think like everybody that has ever watched the podcast is going to sit right here in my apartment and watch me record it. And that's not the case. But it's like, it really is like the fear of being seen. It's like, and being perceived and being judged. Did I tell you I was a people pleaser? So it's like, what are the people going to say? Are they going to be happy with this? Are they okay with it? Da 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 da. So I think it's also me expecting to be able to show up on the internet and not care what anybody thinks, when like, girl, like I said, recovering people pleaser. So girl, I don't have everything figured out too. Like, I know I had a lot of expectations and it's like, oh, I've accepted these things, but there are some things where I'm just like, I don't even know where I stand with this. And honestly, one of those things is being seen on the internet. And it's like, girl, well, you have a podcast and then you chose to do a visual podcast. But I'm like, yeah, I know. So it's like I do have to reevaluate all of those things. Not saying that I'm going to stop. Like, I do love the video aspect of this. I do. I like being able to I was about to say see people, but I don't really see y'all. Y'all see me. I see you, no, you see three. No, that's what it was. Here we go. I see you, no, you see me. Hold on. I see you, no, you see three at ATIME. But yeah, being seen, that's tough. In addition to expectations, it's like there are so many uphill battles that you have to contend with as somebody who is creating something, especially a podcast that is supposed to be like dipped in academics. Like all of that requires a lot. And I was like, I feel like I have so many rocks. That's what I was thinking about too. Sisyphus pushing that rock up this. I feel like I'm pushing multiple boulders up a hill in order for me to get this thing to the finish line. And then I try, or I get pretty far, but then I get tired and then the rock rolls back down. That's what I'm thinking. Rock roll back down the hill. I gotta push it back again. But I remember a quote that my IB history teacher said. Shout out Miss Dawes. I remember a lot of the quotes that she said. She was truly a prolific teacher. Shout out Miss Dawes. Um, but it was something we had to do. I think it was like a DBQ on it. It was like, we must imagine Sisyphus happy. Like, we must imagine that him having to push that rock, that boulder up that hill every day is something that he wants to do. Like, we must imagine that every time that he pushes the rock up, that he learns something different about pushing the rock up, or like he gets just a little bit stronger every single time, or this is what, like, I don't know. But that quote does stick with me. It's like, we got to make the boulders worth it. We got to make the boulders worth it. And I really am. I'm really trying to be that person. And so I did a lot of blabbing. I did. But I said all of that to say that this right here will serve as the season finale of season 1 of Operating on High. And no, this was not supposed to be a seasonal thing. It wasn't. Again, the expectation that I had does not match the reality of how I have to move with this podcast. And so, with all of that, I am now moving to seasons. Shout out to us. I might give me a little sound box, because if I get a little air horn, it's over for you bitches. But yeah, so we're moving to season. So this will serve as the season finale. Um, and honestly, I'm finna take another break. But like, I'll say this. So the break between episode 6 and 7, that was like a burnout break. It was like, okay, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's next. But the break that I'm taking now between season 1 and season 2 is going to be a very intentional break. Like, I'll be honest, I have a lot of really, really great ideas that I want to execute within season 2. Like, think about your favorite show, right? When it came to season 2, you could tell that the budget went up. You could tell like the skill set went up. And that's what I'm really trying to give the people for season 2, um that's coming up. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm going to learn about that, what that gain is, okay? And not just the laundry detergent. I'm going to learn about all of that, okay? So I'm focusing on trying to improve the audio for the podcast. This season 1 is going to be hey, you could tell we was low budget and we was doing the best we can with what we had, okay? And I mean, the seasons to come will do that as well. But in the seasons to come, we'll also have the knowledge that we have learned from the previous season that we can build upon. Okay. Okay. So yeah, that's again, a lot of great things. Interviews lined up already. The people are talking. They're like, hey, I let's collab. Let's be on the podcast. So yeah, we got some interviews lined up, quite a few more. And also too, look, hey. If you are in the DMV area, I need you to hit my line like right now. Actually, if you are in the DMV area in New York, I'm not going to say when, but I will say that I will be in New York and the DMV sometime this summer. And I would really, 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 really love to connect with any Black business owners, Black cannabis business owners within the area. I would love to have some interviews. Like, if we can't do an interview, that's totally fine. Don't worry, I will be back. I'll just say that I will definitely be back. But if I could even just, meet up with a couple of people, just have coffee, something, just to know like what the landscape is like, for cannabis in those areas, I would really love to chit chat. Like I said, it doesn't have to be anything formal, but still hit my line, please, 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 please. Because I would love to connect with especially Black women, okay? Because also too, if y'all didn't know, like, yeah, in between this episode and the last episode, I didn't post on YouTube, but did you check out the Instagram though? Because we posted a bunch of Black women in cannabis throughout the month of May and June, okay? So take you some time to go back and check out I think it's over 30 women that we featured, okay? And we also went very specific to women in Arkansas as well, Black women in cannabis in Arkansas. I had a really good time with that, and I worked my ass off on them graphics. Okay, again, no AI, no AI. So go check out them posts and go follow and support all the Black women that are in cannabis. Did you know that Black people make up less than 2% of businesses within the cannabis industry? And you know that means that Black women are even less than that. So yes, let's support Black women today and every day. Okay. And so yeah, I'm even if I'm not posting here, girl, I'm doing a little pop in, a little check in somewhere on some platform. I'm on TikTok. We on TikTok now. Okay. We are on TikTok. Now let me tell you something. TikTok, that's a strict bitch. Okay. That's a strict bitch. I appreciate her hustle. Trust me, I love TikTok down. But they are very, very restrictive over there. Like the censorship is very strict when it comes to cannabis, child. Because I'm like, and that's cool and all, but like, dang, girl, I really do wonder with like the rescheduling of cannabis if that also means that the censorship of cannabis on social media will change as well. I do indeed hope so because it's like we need to be spreading education before Big Canna or Big Za, whatever we calling the cannabis industry and the people that make a whole bunch of money off of off of cannabis before it becomes monopolized. We need to tell the people about what's real with cannabis and how to support local growers. Okay, get into it. Get into it. So yeah, we're moving the seasons, and the next season will come out. I'm saying Leo season. That's what I'll say. Leo season is when season 2 will premiere. Okay. But I also, I'm saying that, but y'all, let me tell you something. In addition to me trying to do more with the podcast, I'm also trying to be outside. You know what I'm saying? Like, though I'd be like, I have a fear of being seen. I have a fear of being seen on the internet, but I do like going outside and seeing people in real life. And I also love doing hood rat shit with my friends. Okay. So, and I'm going to be doing that. Like, I'm going to be on trips this summer. So, yeah, that's what's coming up for the podcast. It's going to be it's going to be better, y'all. It's going to be better. I feel like I'll have a strategy. I feel like this season I was just kind of throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks, and yeah, that weekly episode thing did not stick. But that's fine. That's fine. We live, we learn, we laugh, we love. Okay. Alrighty. Now look, hey, but you can, in the meantime and in between time, fret not. Because guess what? You can go back and watch some episodes. That's the problem. Everybody wants something new, 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 new. Hey, hey, hey. Go support what we got. Go rewatch an episode. Go share an episode with your homies. Okay? Go back, rewatch them. Give them a thumbs up. Leave a comment. All right, that helps push it through the YouTube algorithm. Again, it's already centered because it's about cannabis. But if you go comment, like it, give it a thumbs up, all of that, that helps out quite a bit. Okay, it puts us in folks' YouTube algorithm. Um, so yeah, do that. Oh, also share episodes. Okay, like if you have people in your life who smoke, just send them the link. If you're like, what episode should I send them? Send them the history one. Send them the crooked history of cannabis in America. And that one's actually a really fun episode because it's like every time you hear a crooked cannabis history fact, you have to take a hit. So actually that's a really great one to enjoy with friends because you learn something and you get high as hell because trust me, the history of cannabis in America is so crooked. It's so fucking crooked. So you will get high listening to that one. And you're gonna learn something. How you're learning. Come on. Come on. All right. You see, I know you see. Okay. So there's that. Follow us. Follow on all of the platforms. Lock in because I'm gonna post like, hey, we're coming back on one of these days. It's probably gonna be on Instagram or TikTok, probably Instagram. I'm sorry. Like that's the main platform I got right now. Cause like I said, I'm every woman. I'm every woman. I'm every woman. Oh, which one you doing? What? Who got it? Whitney or Shaka Khan? Shaka Khan. I mean, let me not put two baddies against each other. You know, but yeah, since I am every woman, that means I'm also the social media manager, poster, and all of that on all of the social media platforms. I'm working on it, y'all. I'm doing the best I can with what I got. Okay. Also, if you have my phone number, dog, like, and you like, man, how can I help Maya to keep going with this, knowing that she's doing all of this by herself? Like, how can I support her in that way? If you call me and say, like, hey, do you want to have a quick work session? Like, we could do a virtual work session where you FaceTime me and say, hey, I need to work on this thing for an hour. Do you have something that you could work on for an hour? I will say yes. We'll put ourselves on mute, unless you need to like pop in and ask a question of like, hey, how do you think I should do? I think you should da 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 da. Okay, bet. Back on mute. And then we're back working. That's what's called body doubling. Okay. If you're somebody like myself who is neurodivergent, that helps me like stay accountable. Hold on, I feel like I'm hearing a lot of movement in 1:41 in the morning. Okay, my door lock. All right, all right. And it's a Monday too. Everybody just cutting up, unless they be doing this all the time, and I'm just asleep when it happens. I've got to be in the room where it happened. I'm losing it, y'all. It's actually already lost, to be honest. So yes, if you would like to support me as a friend, child, like just call me and ask to do a work session, or we could co-work in person. That's also a lot of fun too. Yeah, but that would really, 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 really help me, y'all. It really would. Cause like I said, one woman show doing this all by my lonesome. But either way, I do want to say thank you so, so much for supporting, for watching all the way to the end. Because, baby, I know this one is going to be quite a doozy to chop and screw, knowing that I sat up here and yapped on my last two brain cells. But I'm going to close this out. And again, thank you so much for tuning in to yet another episode of Operating on High. I'm also going to thank you in advance for your support because within the things that I just listed there on how you could support me, I know you're going to do at least one because you really fuck with what we got going on over here. You really fuck with what we got going over here. And I really appreciate that. I do. Because you're not a monitoring spirit. You actually locked in and rocking with me, okay? I appreciate you. But yes, this has been another episode of Operating on High. You have a wonderful rest of your day. And yes, I'm about to hop up in that bed and turn my swag and my brain off because it's already blowing a fuse. All right, y'all. Stay up.